Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, now as the details of this Pop Smoke trial are starting to go down, and it's really like a preliminary hearing to see where they're going to go as far as trial, and it's for one of the people in the trial that's actually an adult. A gentleman by the name of Cory Walker, who's 20 years old, and they're trying to see if he's gonna go on trial, and with the highest charge that he could receive is the death penalty or whatnot, right? Now, in his case, a lot of the details about what went on the night that Pop Smoke was killed has come to light. I mean, it's a lot of details. Yesterday, I did a video about the situation with them kicking him and, just being extra disrespectful after Pop Smoke had already been shot. We talked about his lawyer, Cory Walker's lawyer, being Christopher Darden, the lawyer who was famous for being in the OJ trial back in 1995, and a whole bunch of different details, right? Now, today, we found out exactly who Pop Smoke's shooter was, or killer was. Now, this is according, and I should say the alleged killer, because they still haven't been found guilty in the court of law, but through jailhouse informants, it seems like the police out in LA, the LAPD, already have this case wrapped up. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the details we know today. Man, so it's all coming out in this court case. And it looks like through the help of jailhouse informants, the cops pretty much got an idea of who the shooter was and what exactly went down. Now, it wasn't just the shooter who had been talking. It was actually Cory Walker who's there in his preliminary trial right now, right? Now, this is the story that was published by the Daily News today, and it says this. Now, the headline says, Pop Smoke was murdered by a 15-year-old shooter who admitted slaying to detention center cellmate, detectives testified. So the 15-year-old shooter, who at this time, they're underage, so we can't say their names, we can't get any of their information, the juvenile record or any of that. They seem to be the person who actually shot Pop Smoke 3 times through their own admission to a jailhouse informant, aka a jailhouse snitch. You know what I mean? So somebody, whoever put him in the game or whatever, tried to make him, in their little robbing ring, probably didn't tell him the basics about keeping your mouth closed. But luckily for Pop Smoke and his family, man, this is going to help out the case to bring them some type of justice. Now, in the story, it starts off by saying this. It says, Pop Smoke was gunned down by a baby-faced 15-year-old shooter who ambushed the Brooklyn rapper with a group of teens bent on stealing the singer's diamond-studded Rolex, a detective testified Friday. Stop there. Okay, so basically, they showed up there with the intent to rob the Rolex. We know that Pop Smoke made a critical mistake by posting his location on social media. They had the address, they had the house, they bum rushed the place. Now, in the story yesterday, I talked about this. They came in through the second-story windows, which is odd, but that's what the story said, and that's what the police testified during the trial. Now, the story continues to say the home intruders were after the Canarsie Bread rapper's Cuban link chain, but apparently only managed to swipe the luxury timepiece, which they later resold for just $2,000, the cop said. So they're saying they sold his Rolex for $2,000. And man, that's just a shame, man. We got to take a second for that. Somebody lost their life over a $200,000. a $2,000 come up. $2,000? That ain't no money. Man, I know I'm broke just like the rest of us, but $2,000, you can work and go get $2,000 easy and quick, man, legally. But regardless, man, let's continue. The story says the Trigger team, the youngest of the 4 defendants, now facing murder and robbery charges in the case, allegedly admitted to his role in the shocking slaying during a recorded interview with a cellmate at a juvenile detention center last May. So they're saying shortly after they were locked up last May, he was in juvenile detention center and told one of his cellmates that he took part in the shooting. And that cellmate obviously was recording the whole conversation. So, I mean, what more do they need? You know what I mean? They could say, hey, he was just trying to boast and brag and he really didn't have anything to do with it. But man, when it's in a situation where it's just two parties and he has no reason to lie, it's going to be tough to prove that. You know what I mean? Now, it continues to say he admitted that he shot the victim 3 times with a Beretta 9mm. LAPD Detective Carlos Camacho testified Friday at a preliminary hearing for a different suspect, Corey Walker, 20 years old, the sole adult defendant in the high-profile case. Now, okay, I got to call this out. What in the world is a 20-year-old dude doing hanging out with a bunch of 15-year-olds? Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man, and I know you're enjoying this video, but make sure you go and you follow me on social media platforms like Instagram, and also go to my Twitter page and make sure you hit that follow button there so you can get the latest and greatest updates of when I'm dropping my videos. And man, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button so we can spread this video around, and we trying to get 2,000 likes, so run them likes up. All right. Kids anyway, dog. Like, at some point, I get it, man. They all whatever, and we all know what they claim or whatnot, man. And I'm not going to talk about that because I don't talk about those things. But, man, at some point, like, you would think you would be out, I don't know, doing other stuff, man. This is ridiculous. And it's not, I know everybody's reading the story. They're like, well, why in the world would the youngest person be the shooter in this? Man, if you look at a lot of the cases from the 90s and stuff, it was common to have the youngest guy in the crew, you know, be the guy who actually was the trigger man because, you know, the idea and the ideology was that he would get less time. But that's not always the case, and that's 100% not true. And you see where that got him because obviously he spilled the beans to somebody he was in the detention center with. Now, it continues to say the 15-year-old defendant admitted that they asked for the jury and then had a confrontation with Pop Smoke that quickly turned deadly, the detective said. They got into a fight, and he shot 3 times, Camacho said, citing the 15-year-old defendant's recorded juvenile detention interview. He said he shot him on the back. On the back. Yeah, I guess he meant in the back, I guess that is on the back. That's what they say. But regardless, that's not important. Now, Walker, 20 years old, has pled not guilty in the case. His defense lawyer is Christopher Darden, told the Daily News Friday that Walker never even entered the house for the deadly confrontation. Now, we talked about Christopher Darden in the last video and how it just seems like every time there's somebody who's guilty with doing something against a rapper, he jumps at the opportunity to basically defend that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's odd that, you know, he's taking on that role. Yeah, everybody deserves their own defense, and it seems like, you know, being a defense attorney might have his perks and privileges, but it seems like when there's a rapper involved, he jumps at the opportunity to defend a person who allegedly, you know, committed a crime against the rapper. I don't know. It feels like he got something against hip hop. That's just my own personal feeling. You know what I mean? That's not proven or anything like that. Now, it continues to say that Walker allegedly admitted the group used ski masks, gloves, and police scanner. Hold up. Now, according to Camacho, Walker also confessed to his role in the murder during a separate secretly recorded jailhouse interview with a different adult informant placed in his cell after his July arrest. So Walker, the lone adult in this whole case, also confessed to the murder talking to a jailhouse informant, thinking he was, you know, talking to somebody, not knowing his conversation was also being recorded. Wow, man. Wow. So basically, he said that they had ski masks, gloves, and a police scanner as they carried out their home invasion robberies. They had a ring going on or whatnot, right? He said that when the individuals got inside, the suspects confronted Pop Smoke, who was in the shower naked, and we talked about that in the last story. And during his recorded conversation with the cellmate, Walker allegedly said the teens inside the home demanded Pop Smoke's jewelry, which he was still wearing, and even said thank you when it appeared he was complying, Camacho said. But the rapper apparently decided to fight back, good for Pop Smoke, I'm glad to hear that, and rushed the intruders who pistol whipped him before the 15-year-old suspect shot him in the chest, Camacho said, citing Walker's account of what happened. So basically, they're saying that Pop Smoke did try to fight back after after he started giving up his jewelry, but he probably saw like, hey man, these some juniors, man, these some kids. So I'm going to try to tussle with him, which, you know, I initially said good job, but nah, that was a bad decision because it obviously cost his life. Now they're in the dead wrong because it's his property. He's in a residence or a dwelling that he paid for, and they're breaking in to rob him. So, you know, horrible situation altogether. Now, Darden objected to the testimony about Walker's interview, calling it hearsay. Since Walker wasn't inside the house, the judge allowed it. So the judge basically said they're going to allow the testimony because Walker, even though Christopher Darden said that Walker wasn't in the house. Now, it was his vehicle that was seen outside, and everything outside was caught on camera. So he was allegedly the getaway driver. Now, it continues to say that Pop Smoke, born Bashar Baraka Jackson, was fatally shot during a 4 a.m. home invasion. We know about that. And public testimony in the case started Thursday with 2 LAPD detectives taking the witness to give the first public and detailed account of what allegedly happened. Now, Detective Christian Carrasco testified Thursday that a woman who was with Pop Smoke in the rented home second-story bedroom recalled seeing the group of men storm through the curtains from a balcony accessible by the backyard staircase. And they talk about, you know, what we talked about yesterday. They came in the staircase and, you know, about them kicking him or whatnot. And Pop Smoke's mom actually being there in the courtroom for this whole situation. But what do you guys think, man? This is a lot of details, and these are a lot of layers. Basically, they're saying that some jailhouse informants at the youth detention center and at the adult jail gave up the goods on all these cats in this situation, man. And that seems like, I mean, it's almost an open and shut case if all of that pans out. And I don't see any reason why the police would lie about this. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this Pop Smoke case is solved by, you know, these guys relying and trusting in people like their cellmate and telling them the goods? Or do you think that maybe there's more to the story and we'll get more details as this comes along? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace. Oh, yeah. And rest in peace to Pop Smoke always, man.